Welcome to my walk. We're going to have a little talk today about our public school system. I want to see how many people see things like I do.
Thankfully, a steadily decreasing number of people. Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. Meet Juanita Bergeson. She has an opinion on what children should or should not be taught. And everybody is entitled to their opinion, but she thinks that her opinion should dictate what is taught in public schools. And I'm pretty sure it shouldn't. Check her out.
If you're like the average American, you believe a certain number of things.
And if you're like the above-average American, those things are based on facts, not beliefs that go unsupported by any evidence.
And one of those things that you believe is that you didn't come from a monkey.
You didn't come from a monkey. You are a monkey. We're all monkeys.
Hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around.
And some of us more than others. Like it or not, the genetic evidence shows that humans and great apes are quite closely related. You can argue with that if you like, but it doesn't mean you're right. And frankly, I think the rejection of evolution stems from more than just religious dogma. I think it's just as much that you find the notion unflattering. Listen to how you say it.
You didn't come from a monkey.
It's not humans and monkeys aren't related, or humans and great apes don't share a common ancestor. It's,
you didn't come from a monkey.
This sounds rather less like a denial of facts and more like personal revulsion at the very notion. And I get it. Apes seem less intelligent. They're hairy and their faces look like a parody of the human form. They're often brutish and savage, clearly animals. But humans are animals, biological creatures. Like it or not. And it doesn't matter whether you find it unflattering or what your scripture says. Facts are facts, and there are plenty of those indicating the nature of human origins. When you can provide contradictory facts and not just faith that humans were created by a god, then we have something to discuss. Until then, you're just playing pretend and engaging in wishful thinking.
Just somehow, over millions of years, the monkeys climbed out of the trees or whatever they did, and they turned into people.
And this is the argument from somebody who only has the Cliff's Notes easy reader version of what evolution actually is. Take another listen.
Somehow, over millions of years, the monkeys climbed out of the trees or whatever they did.
Somehow, whatever they did. Does this sound like someone who actually knows what they're talking about? Someone who actually learned what evolution is? Someone who knows how genetics works? Or does it sound like somebody who only heard
the monkeys climbed out of the trees?
Because if that was all one knew about evolution, I'd find it difficult to believe too. It helps to know what you're actually arguing about if you intend to build a case against it.
That's what they're teaching your kids in school. That's what they're taught my kids, my grandkids in school. Atheistic science.
Now hold on just a second. I will agree that, in principle, it's atheistic in that it doesn't include religion. But a far better word in this context would be secular, or non-denominational. Evolution theory does not take sides. It sticks to facts, no matter whose feelings it might hurt. When you can provide the same kind of evidence for religious genesis as science can provide for evolution, it's only then that we can consider teaching it to kids in public schools.
If God is responsible for us being here, which is what maybe 70 or 80% of Americans believe, why would we support a system that would teach that's not how we got here?
What you believe doesn't matter in science. Should we have stuck to the notion that the Earth is flat just because of how many people believed it? Your religious beliefs have no place in a science classroom, unless you can demonstrate their validity scientifically.
Furthermore, atheistic science is based on a religion. Did you know that atheism is being classified as a religion?
By whom? Who is saying that? Because how exactly is atheism a religion? Does it have faith-based beliefs? Does it have dogma? Explain exactly how atheism is similar in any way to Christianity, Islam, Mormonism, Scientology, or the old Greek and Roman myths. Please. It's like the old saying, if atheism is a religion, then not collecting stamps is a hobby, and bald is a hair color. Tell me, if you think you can, what is the word for having no religion? Because I'm pretty sure atheism is it. Or do you think it's impossible to have no religion? Do you think that humans have a religion no matter what? See, I don't have a religion, and you can get atheism classified as one as much as you like. It just means those of us with no religion will have to find another word to describe ourselves. You do not get to make us religious semantically. Atheism is a description, not a denomination.
Do you know that a religious thought process that makes a statement not only on how we got here from monkeys, but it makes a statement on where we're going? To nothing.
And how exactly is science a religious thought process? What is religious about gathering data, performing experiments, and forming conclusions based on both? How is that even remotely similar to believing in something without evidence, worshiping that something, believing that something created the universe, and being convinced that that something can somehow preserve us after death, despite there being a complete lack of evidence for any of these notions? Tell me how those two sound even slightly similar to each other. Okay, science may have implications for religious claims, but that's a side effect, not the purpose or goal of science. Science seeks to understand our universe using facts. Religion seeks to understand our universe using legends. The two are not equivalent, they're opposites.
That thought process, that religious thought process, is part of our school system. Think about that. Is that what you want? It's not what I want.
Yeah? So what do you want? Because the choices are as follows. Either we teach fact-based science to public school children despite your faith-based wishes, or we put your religious preferences ahead of everybody else's despite there being an explicit separation of church and state in our Constitution, and public schools are a product of our government. Or we teach kids no science that conflicts with religious dogma despite schools being places of learning, or you put your religious brats in a private religious school despite this obviously stunting their understanding and knowledge of the universe in which they live. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking option D. It's the only way for everybody to get what they want, assuming that what you want is not indoctrinating other people's kids into your religion.
We need to do something about it. We can't have this. This is America. We are not atheists here in America.
And we're not Christians either, or Muslims, or Jews, or Wiccans, or whatever. That's the thing about America. It's supposed to be liberty and justice for all. Remember that? Or how about the Bill of Rights, Third Amendment? Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. That means that our government must be secular, and that includes our government-run public schools. Like it or not, that means that your religious views cannot be presented as science. They can be described in the context of the religions that exist in the world, but the class for that is social studies, not science. Your religion, nobody's religion, can be advocated as something that should be believed in an American public school. When you start demanding that a public science class teach your religious views, you're attempting to have the government establish a religion, and that is un-American.
Let's get atheism out of the public school.
And replace it with what exactly? If we take religion out of public schools, as we're legally supposed to, what's left besides atheism? Or at least secularism, non-denominationalism? If you can't teach a religious view of science, then what can you teach if an atheistic view of science isn't allowed either? You can't get rid of both. Either you have religion, or you have no religion. Is a science class not allowed to teach something if it doesn't support or perhaps even contradicts someone else's religious views? I mean, come on, start making a little sense here. Either you haven't thought what you're saying all the way through and don't realize its implications, or we're gonna have to start saying some rather unflattering things about your intelligence. Which is it? In the meantime, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think. If you don't like what I'm saying, there's a good chance you're the reason I'm saying it.